Okay guys, I'm just going to do a quick video tutorial about how to use your Apple TV to mirror what you have on your iPad to be able to display it on your smartboard. So the first thing you want to do is when you turn on your smartboard, mine's connected to my laptop but I don't have it plugged in right now. If you'll select input on your remote, you'll see a box come up. And mine happens to be HDMI 1. You might have to play around with your connections to see what pops up, but it does take a second, so just give it a second to actually pull up. But figure out which HDMI input is actually connected to your Apple TV. Then this is the screen that you will see when it first comes on. If you'll use your Apple TV remote, and you use these buttons to navigate, and the menu button lets you go back to the previous screen. So I'm going to navigate. You want to navigate down and go to settings. Okay, and this takes you to the general settings. Now, before you do anything, if you will click on general and go to name, you want to name your Apple TV. And because there's so many in our school, you don't want to just name it Apple TV. If you would go to custom and actually name it Apple TV and type in your name, that way you're only sharing with your screen and not somebody else's. So once you get your name plugged in, just hit submit and then hit the menu button to go back to the previous screen. Now, then you'll go down to AirPlay. And you want to select your Apple TV with your name on it, and just make sure that it's checked right there by your name. Okay. Now, also you want to make sure that AirPlay is selected on. If it's not, you can just hit the round center button to turn it on. The next thing you need to do is work with your iPad. Make sure, number one, that you are connected to the Wi-Fi. That's the first thing. And then the second thing you have to do is you may have to go into your settings to do this. But I had to go to Air Display. I turned my Bluetooth on. And then I had to find my Air Display, which is... Give me just a second. No, I'm sorry. Actually, all I had to do was turn my Wi-Fi on. When I turned my Wi-Fi on, then I was able to see this little option at the bottom of my iPad that says Apple TV Brown. And it actually says Air Display. So you can turn it off. This is what it'll look like when it's off. It'll give you the option to do Air Display. If you click it, then it comes up several options. See, this is where I could select somebody else's Apple TV, but I want to select mine. Okay, and you'll see that box pop up. Now, I want to show you what's on my screen. My Air Display is, like I said, selected on for my classroom. And all I'm going to do is tap on that button right there that says mirroring. And I'll see if I can get both. But once I tap on that button, now I'm able to mirror my image from my iPad to my smartboard. And all I have to do is now I can control my screen from my iPad. I can swipe through my apps. I can go into an app and play it with the kids. In class, we could pass the iPad around, let them work with it. And that's just another great way to engage your students and have interactive lessons by just using one iPad. If that's all you're allowed to get for the day, you can at least use that and display it on your smartboard.